Yo, town crier, what's the word on the street? What's the latest buzz in town? All right, imagine this. No smartphones, no social media, no 24/7 news cycle, no instant notifications or breaking news alerts. Like, how did people even survive without knowing the latest gossip, right? No trending hashtags or viral videos to keep them entertained. Back in the day, getting the 411 was a whole different hustle. It was all about being in the right place at the right time. Forget doom scrolling, people relied on word of mouth, travelers' tales, and the OG news source, the town crier. He was the human newsfeed. Picture this dude in tights, ringing a bell like a boss, yelling, "Hear ye, hear ye." He was the center of attention. He'd be spitting rhymes about everything from royal decrees to which cow went missing. Every announcement was a performance. Basically, he was the walking, talking Twitter of his time. A living, breathing newsfeed with a flair for the dramatic, but let's be real, accuracy wasn't exactly their strong suit. Stories got twisted, details got lost. Rumors spread faster than wildfire, and you couldn't exactly fact-check a dude with a booming voice and a penchant for drama. It was all about the spectacle, the showmanship, and yet, despite the chaos, it was a time when community thrived on shared stories and collective experiences. The town crier was more than just a news source. He was a symbol of the community's heartbeat. Scribes and Monk's OG news crew. These dedicated individuals were the backbone of information dissemination in their time. Before the printing press rolled around and changed the game, revolutionizing how information was shared and consumed, news traveled slower than a snail in molasses. Imagine waiting weeks, even months, to hear about events that had already happened. We're talking handwritten scrolls and painstakingly copied manuscripts. Each document was a labor of love, crafted with meticulous care. It was a slow burn, folks. The process was time-consuming and required immense patience and dedication. Monks in monasteries were like the original newsrooms, working tirelessly in dimly lit scriptoriums, diligently copying texts and chronicles by hand. Talk about commitment. These monks and scribes were the unsung heroes of their time. They were the keepers of knowledge, safeguarding the wisdom and history of their era. Preserving history one painstakingly written word at a time, their work ensured that future generations could learn from the past. Of course, this meant that news was mostly reserved for the elite, those who had the means to access these precious documents. The royals, the clergy, and other influential figures of society, the guys with fancy libraries, they were the ones who stayed informed and had the power to influence decisions. The common folk were pretty much left in the dark with little to no access to written news, relying on hearsay and the occasional traveling bard with a catchy tune and questionable facts. These bards were the medieval equivalent of social media, spreading stories and news, albeit with a lot of embellishment. Gutenberg's printing press, dropping truth bombs. Enter Johannes Gutenberg, the OG disruptor, dropping truth bombs with his revolutionary printing press. This bad boy changed the game forever, making it possible to mass-produce texts and spread information like never before in history. Suddenly, news wasn't just for the privileged few anymore. Pamphlets, newsletters, and early newspapers started popping up, giving the masses a taste of what was happening outside their little bubbles. Talk about a revolution. Of course, these early newspapers were a far cry from the multimedia extravaganzas we have today. They were basically dense walls of text filled with political commentary, shipping news, and the occasional scandalous rumor. Hey, even back then, people loved a little bit of gossip. Coffee houses, BuzzFeed for the Enlightenment. Fast forward to the 17th and 18th centuries, and coffee houses became the happening spots for the intellectual elite. These establishments were more than just places to grab a cup of coffee. They were the epicenters of social and intellectual life. Think of them as the BuzzFeed of the Enlightenment, where people gathered to debate the latest news, sip on some Java, and maybe throw in a witty insult or two. These coffee houses were buzzing with energy, filled with the chatter of people eager to share their thoughts and opinions. Newspapers and pamphlets were the lifeblood of these caffeine-fueled discussions. They were passed around, read aloud, and dissected in great detail. The printed word was a powerful tool, spreading ideas and sparking debates. People devoured reports from far-off lands, debated the merits of the latest scientific discoveries, and argued about politics with a fervor that would make Twitter threads look tame. These discussions were not just idle chatter, they were passionate and often heated, reflecting the intense curiosity and engagement of the time. Coffee houses became incubators of ideas, fueling the age of enlightenment and shaping public opinion like never before. They were places where new philosophies were born, where revolutionary ideas took root, and where the seeds of change were sown. It was the golden age of coffee, conversation, and the clash of brilliant and not so brilliant minds. These vibrant conversations and debates played a crucial role in the intellectual and cultural development of the era, leaving a lasting legacy that continues to influence us today.